Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Xinfin, aka XDC. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. And if you do find any of the information in this video valuable, useful, or interesting in any sort of way, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on to never miss a future update. So as Bitcoin is climbing the ranks, we are still watching for major retracement on it. If it does happen, we will pretty much hit resistance levels. I'm still looking at some higher figure numbers until we do get a little bit bullish on our altcoin holdings. We got to remember that Bitcoin dominance right now is still fairly high, so a correction here could be catastrophic for a lot of altcoin holdings. I am watching XDC closely. I'm also watching my XSP. As you guys are probably all aware, yes, I still do hold XSP. I'm been holding it. It's still pretty much my first gem that I told you guys that I was investing in to make $100,000 from $1,000. A lot of those risk assets are some of the highest grossing ROI potential assets. I know it is a fairly risky asset to invest money into. I know a lot of you are kind of skeptical on it. I just don't think that it is that bad of an overall asset. Of course, we'll find out. It is a decentralized exchange, so who knows. But in general, we are focusing on XDC closely because we are around the 6-cent mark. We came down as low as about almost 5. It was actually almost 6 cents exact. I shouldn't even say almost 5 cents. But if we do go any lower, okay, so let's actually go to the 1 year. If we do go any lower from here, it will pretty much be to test those summer lows, to going back to May. This is around almost 5 cents. It's 4.7, if you will, in terms of centile ranges. Volume is not down too much, 3.46%, but we still need a lot more volume. But overall, this is pretty much the level that I'm watching for if we do retest it. Of course, we're pretty much at this nice little low at the moment of almost 6 cents exact, and we have been holding it fairly strong. But like I said, Bitcoin dominance almost around 42%. If we do have that correction state, yes, we will test those summer lows. But nonetheless, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about some things within the Xinfin ecosystem, and then of course we will kind of talk more so about the price chart here shortly. So let's move on and let's talk about this overall comparison here. So again, we just here, once I used XDC, I lost faith in Ethereum. Enterprise versus hype in perspective, 8 smart contract transactions on Ethereum cost me $800 USD, and gas changes constantly versus every smart contract I execute on XDC costs me a fraction of a cent and settles in 2 seconds every time. Now, overall, listen, you guys are probably all aware, I hold a ton of layer 1 networks. I hold a ton of assets that are pretty much incomparable to Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of their efficiencies, but also XDC should be one that really kind of notes in terms of the 3rd generation technology. There's a lot of 3rd gen assets in the space. Hashgraph, aka HBAR, we know is doing incredibly well. I just think that there's enough food for all of these major networks to actually eat. Of course, XDC, in my opinion, does have the overall partnerships that it needs to actually facilitate what the market it's going after to do, aka, for example, trade finance. XDC has the potential to really disrupt that area because it is the only blockchain technology in this space, or I shouldn't even say blockchain technology specifically, but it is the only asset in the space that has the partnerships created for that overall fundamental use case. It's the one that really, in my opinion, is well positioned to disrupt it. And of course, we do see the transactions per second, the average fee here, the transaction confirmation, smart contracts, and all that kind of stuff in comparison to Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's really kind of incomparable. And of course, we do have, HODL, XRP, and even XDC, which we do know that all of these are kind of going after different markets. These are not competing in the same exact market. We know that Hedera is doing incredibly well for themselves in terms of what they're really kind of going after. They're pretty much like an all-in-one solution, if you will, but they're not going after the trade finance gap. XDC is going after the trade finance gap. $15 trillion is really all XDC really needs in order for it to reach some high figure numbers, especially if it just grasps 10% of that market, which I've always talked to you guys a little bit about. But for what XDC is trying to accomplish and for what they are really kind of trying to do, I think that they are well positioned to do that perfectly. And I think that XDC, from an overall standpoint of a financial institutional use case or enterprise grade use case for what it is being utilized for, is pretty much a great choice, and I think it is going to be utilized over a lot of other blockchain technologies and other assets in general, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, like I said, I don't even understand why people are still utilizing Ethereum and Bitcoin to even send transactions, use them for smart contracts at all. Like, in my opinion, you could save a ton of money utilizing way more efficient and way better, networks like XDC. And of course, we do see our XDC network takes center stage amid Solana network crash. This goes back 4 days ago. If you guys did miss it, of course, Solana was out another time for 48 hours after being out 72 hours. This is a concern, okay? And we do see here, meanwhile, these recent crashes encountered by the Solana network upset many smart contract developers as well as the crypto community. As a result, the crypto community is now eyeing other alternative platforms, Ethereum killers, if you will, that could provide them with the expectation they need in their everyday crypto transactions. And I remember when Solana was being, labeled as the next Ethereum killer. It's going to do this, it's going to do that. I don't even take the term Ethereum killer serious anymore because a lot of these networks just are not efficient enough. That's why, for example, like Casper, HBAR, and even XDC are some of the major networks that I really kind of focus on in terms of being a true, Ethereum killer. And, technically Ethereum is already kind of killing itself in terms of its inefficiencies and, unscalable network in general, which we've seen from Buterin himself. But of course, in terms of XDC, XDC Network Chain is one of the crypto platforms to catch the attention of global investors at the time of writing this article. With only XDC in green while rest of the crypto remains red, this indicates that not only smart contract developers, but the crypto community also stated looking towards XDC Network. And of course, we do see here, XDC smart contract growth. It is doing incredible numbers. We could actually open this in a different image so that you guys kind of see it better. It's really not that much better, but overall you can pretty much see the amount of smart contracts. It's like eyeing almost 3,500. It's actually almost eyeing 4,000 specifically. So it is growing astronomically. We actually see here, the XDC protocol is designed to support smart contracts in as seamless a way as possible. Over 3,800 smart contracts have been created on the XDC network. Here's the growth graph over time, as referred to as the recent article of, XDC Foundation, which, this just happened recently. Like, it started surging out of nowhere. And I actually have this article opened up over here talking more so about the smart contract growth by numbers. You can pretty much read about what are they. But here we have, more than 1.7 thousand, smart contracts landed on the XDC network. In fact, we see here the article cites that more than 1,700 smart contracts have been created on the XDC network and stats. The increasing number of smart contracts on the XDC network validate that the network will likely emerge as a significant competitor to Ethereum dominating the space. More than 1,700 tokens have been created on the XDC network. Over 3,800 smart contracts have been created on the XDC network. Here is what the growth looks like over time. And we're actually just going back a little bit in time to like 12/11/2021, which was like pretty much around this point. And then here's January. This has just did a massive growth rate. Okay, and here's the, token creation as well, which is skyrocketing. In my opinion, XDC is about to take over. Okay, and the massive growth, like one way to understand where the XDC network is in its growth curve is to compare it to the Ethereum network. After all, the Bitcoinist.com article linked above did state that the XDC network is emerging as a competitor for the Ethereum network. And here is the Ethereum daily verified contracts chart. Like, look at this. I mean, this is doing barely any numbers compared to what we are seeing up here. Like, this is crazy. I mean, here's the smart contract growth in terms of just the total number of contracts. Like, let's go back to, October, where we were sitting at 1,000, like roughly 300, if you will. And then all of a sudden, just down the road a little bit, 3 months, we're sitting at almost 4,000. That's crazy. Okay, and of course, in terms of the token growth, you can pretty much see that as well. Doing numbers, like we are absolutely outscaling Ethereum in terms of growth. The above plot shows how smart contract creation on the Ethereum network has grown over time. We have about 32 months worth of data for the XDC network, so let's zoom in on the first 32 months of data for the Ethereum network and do a comparison. And here's the comparison of verified contracts chart on Ethereum, and then here's the XDC smart contracts growth in general. I mean, yeah, back here it was a little bit stable, but look at the massive growth that we're at pretty much now. That's insane. Comparing the first 32 months for both Ethereum and XDC, it looks like the XDC network may just now, within the last 2 to 3 months, be beginning a sustained slope upwards in smart contract creation. And that's exactly what's happening. The other major difference is in the magnitude of daily spikes. The XDC network had several days of 200 plus smart contracts created. So it's surging in terms of smart contracts. We actually see here, there were 152 smart contracts created in 2019, 557 smart contracts created in 2020, 2,129 in 2021. And if that trend continues, I expect to see a minimum of 8,500 smart contracts created in 2022. Something tells me that 8,500 may be a bit low, though. So we are going to see some huge numbers for Xinfin. This is why I say, be sure to understand what you are holding. In terms of what XDC is doing, in terms of price, right now we're kind of sitting a little bit, sideways, if you will, in terms of slow price, considering where we are now, right? To where we were back in, around August, it looks pretty rough, right? Massive downward trend. But look at where we are going back just a few months ago, right? We're going back to those summer lows. We're going back to the demand zone, all the way back here in, April of 2021. This is pretty much exactly where we are at this major support zone before we had this nice spike to pretty much almost 14 cents. Kind of traded sideways, had that crashing point in May. Then we pretty much rose back all the way up to almost 20 cents. I'm telling you right now, once we break over 20 cents, go into price discovery, this thing's going to fly. Because around this time that we hit that 20 centile range, development is going to be going crazy on XDC. So understand what you hold. Development is doing numbers. We're growing every single day. I'm very excited for this year. Like I said, if we're talking about that trend continuing, 8,500 smart contracts, that is huge numbers. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.